the Borg maybe are amongst us.
Maybe they are.
Q who?
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 What?
Q.
Q?
Who? This was a good episode.
A very good episode.
It's probably the best episode possibly
So far.
of everything of Next Generation so far.
So far, I
Do you
think
so. Better
Yeah.
than Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say so. Better than A Matter of Honor?
Ooh,
The Riker?
yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it was a good episode. Yeah.
Even better than The Child.
Yeah. Yeah, it was better than The Child.
Yes.
Yeah. It's better than all the episodes we watched so far.
All of them.
Yeah. I mean, it had everything you wanted in it.
It's got Q.
You
got the Borg. You got
Guinan, yeah.
Brilliant.
Got Patrick Stewart and Q banter.
Love it.
Everything.
Guinan and Q banter.
Pulaski wasn't in it.
Was she not?
No, she was
Wow.
in it.
I didn't even notice that. Wow. Okay.
Wesley was in the episode, but yeah.
Yeah. But
we love him, so it's okay. No, there was a lot of good stuff in the episode, but I guess we didn't know, obviously at the time, you didn't know that's what you needed in life. Q, this was the third appearance of Q.
Yeah.
And this is the first appearance of the Borg.
Do you know how well it did in ratings, like when it originally came out?
That'd be great to know, find out what
compared to all the other season 1 and season 2 episodes.
Maybe people who are watching this or listening to this might be able to, if they were there at the time when it happened, what their feelings were on it when they first saw this episode. I don't remember watching this episode back in that far back. I may have missed it because it's more. I think the Best of Both Worlds is more prevalent in my memory than this episode, Q Who.
Yeah.
The episode doesn't start off great. There's no giveaways of how this episode. There's no giveaways. I'll tell you how it starts.
Okay.
But it's no giveaways of how this episode is going to be straight away at the beginning. So
That's
you got good. So the beginning of the episode, you got this new ensign, Sonia Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
Who spills hot chocolate on Picard.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, this character, obviously, not sure what you think of her, but yeah, she was a bit too much for me. It's a bit too overwhelming.
Oh, see.
She was meant to be a regular character. She was in another episode later in this season.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she was going to be a recurring character, but it was dropped after the second episode she was in, which was Samaritan Snare.
Right.
And she was meant to be like a love interest for Geordie or something.
Mm.
Yeah, because you could see there was a bit of chemistry. Well, I would say there was chemistry, but there was interaction between them talking in the corridor. But she seemed a bit like out of her depth. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so much. It's so overwhelming. I'm on the Enterprise. I don't want to fail.
Yes. Yeah, they could have had the character express those thoughts and feelings but in a less over-dramatic way.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like she's not very professional and she hasn't gone through years of Starfleet training.
Yeah, exactly. And she's on the Enterprise and she's incompetent and she's not meant to have hot chocolate and engineering and she's flustered and spills it. I think it's meant to be the comical release because obviously the comical relief of the episode because obviously there's not really going to be any.
Mm-hmm.
But there is comical relief in the episode because Q makes the episode. He makes light of a very serious situation.
Yes.
So there is no need of this, Selena.
Yeah.
And I think they realise that later on in the episode. This Gomez character is not needed, and I think that's the only thing. Back in the episode later on, talking about, Geordie, all those people died. What are we going to do? We're just going to get on with our jobs.
That was it.
That's what Geordie said.
Yeah. Just put it out of your mind and focus on your task ahead. All right.
18 people. Dead just like that.
I know. Just put it out of your head.
No, I can't. I keep seeing them.
Sonia, stop it. We'll have time to grieve later. Now, right now, let's just get these shields operative.
Yeah, because you could have had the episode without her, and
it wouldn't make a difference.
No.
But the point of the scene was so we could see Picard go walk off to get changed.
Oh, right. So
And
then
he
he ends up
enters-
in the shuttle, and then
That's right.
Q's like, oh.
I mean, Picard could just be walking in a corridor generally anyway.
And it could be any hot chocolate from anyone.
Yeah, or he could just be walking without any hot chocolate on him. He could be just walking, and he ends up in the
Yes.
going into turbo lift. What I don't get is why he looked back when he goes into the turbo lift. Door closes, but he looks behind him, but nothing's changing behind him.
When he goes into the turbo lift.
Yeah, so when he goes into the turbo lift, he ends up in the shuttlecraft. Then looks behind.
I know when he leaves the turbo lift, he goes into the shuttle.
Yeah, but he's actually going into the turbo lift.
Yeah.
And the doors close behind him,
Yes.
which would be the turbo lift doors.
Okay, yeah.
So why would you look at the doors behind you? You'd be like, everything in front of you has changed. Nothing behind you.
Confusion.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, maybe he might be going, wait a minute, am I in the shuttle?
Yeah.
Why is there turbo lift doors behind me? Maybe, yeah, that's right. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think it's confusion. I'm trying to imagine if I walked into that situation, you may just do that just to be aware of what your whole surroundings are.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I haven't seen these episodes for a long time.
Mm.
It's fun when he says, Ensign, where are we?
Yeah, crewman.
Yeah. And I'm just like laughing inside thinking, hee, that's not an ensign.
You knew it was, it was Q.
Yeah.
He's on a shuttle in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Guinan, it cuts to Guinan and she senses there's some concern.
Sense something, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good first indication that she's not human.
Yeah.
Obviously there's humanoids, Vulcans, Klingons, humans, and then there's humans we are humans. Well, I thought we were both humans anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're both humans.
Borg.
Yeah, we're both humans. No, that's humanoid.
Okay, fair enough.
Which I think just means in the shape of a human.
Yeah. 2
arms, 2 legs, a head, torso. Don't know.
Yeah. Reminds me of the joke.
What's that?
I'm annoyed and you're a droid.
Oh, that's from a Star Trek episode, wasn't it? Oh, yeah.
The one where the outrageous Akona. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good episode. That was a good joke.
Yeah, it was.
So we know, like, up until now, I've just assumed Guinan is human.
Oh, okay.
Because there hasn't been anything to indicate or hint anything other than that. This is the first hint that she's not human. You know, she can sense something.
And it creates more depth and mysticism with a character. And also, like, obviously, when Q comes on board, the interaction they have is quite fascinating.
Yeah, because he says...
And also mysterious.
It is, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't remember this part of the episode, but that's amazing. That's so cool.
Well, we'll get to that, because she senses something's wrong. And Riker doesn't know anything that is wrong.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's no, like, detection of, or any system in place that would go, we're missing a shuttle or a person. Yeah. It doesn't alert you. You have to find that out.
Yes. You could build in systems that kind of just alerts you this person
is missing. Yeah, or not.
But I guess the thing is, they're not really expecting that way.
No, they're not expecting that, no. But hopefully they'll put that in place, start going forward.
Yeah.
But you do that in a normal job. Oh, this happened. Right. How are we going to prevent this going forward?
Yes. Pretty much.
We need to put something in place.
Policies and procedures.
Yes, exactly. Guinan senses something wrong. Riker thinks, it's unusual for you. And then Troy comes through the door. She's not smiling. She's just like, where is the captain?
Why did she ask that? Or did she sense that?
I think she was trying to, maybe she had a meeting. I don't know. She doesn't say I sense he's not there. She said,
okay. Yeah, I guess the writers have to get them get the crew to somehow realise the captain isn't there.
And then Worf says, "Oh, there's a shuttle missing
as
well." So it all happens quite at the same time. Yeah. And then they go, "Okay, let's do a search." And then Data and Wesley are going, "Yeah,
yeah, team, yeah.
Let's do a search for 6 hours. Nothing happens."
Now, I would have gone to Yellow Alert.
Yeah, but you're not the first officer.
I'm not. But none of this is real, James.
What gives you the right to call Yellow Alert?
Okay, first of all, you've got a shuttle that's missing with no rhyme or reason. Second of all, and more importantly, the captain of your ship is missing and nobody knows where he is.
True.
Like, come on,
bad.
This is Yellow Alert, surely.
Well, it should be red, in a way.
No, Red Alert is imminent danger. Watch out. Hide under your bed covers. Something bad is going down. Make sure you got your will in order.
Yeah, that's true. Your will Riker in order. Back on the shuttle, Q asked for a full hearing again.
Yes.
Apparently.
And he cunningly uses the words "on your ship" rather than on the ship that you know as the Enterprise, because they beam onto... Oh no, it's another episode, isn't it? I'm thinking of...
I'm confused.
Yeah. No, because when Q says, if we go onto your ship, we can have the discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an episode where they go onto the ship, but it's just a copy of the ship and it's like deserted. Am I just making that up?
Yeah.
I think maybe I just made that up. Oh, excellent. Well, that's good.
You had a nice, interesting dream. You made up a Star Trek episode in your head.
Meanwhile, on Earth...
if anyone understands what Andrew is saying, just let us know in the comments. Because I don't know what episode that is. It might be a Voyager episode, possibly.
Maybe it's Stargate.
Yeah.
Or another sci-fi show.
That's true. But, I think Picard agrees, doesn't he? So they return to the ship and they go to 10 forward.
Yeah, it's nice to see 10 forward being used more. It was in the last episode once.
And Worf looks annoyed because the captain's come back.
Did he?
He seemed like he was annoyed, like he's annoyed that he allowed this to happen. When they announced, the captain's back, and he's like, his face wasn't on the bridge.
Okay.
And it's announced, and he's like something's out of his control, and he's annoyed by it.
Picard is in 10 forward.
Yeah, I guess if he's in charge of the ship's security, and especially the captain.
Yeah, and he's not been able to work out what's been going on.
Okay.
And that's when Guinan pops up from behind the bar. Yeah. And he knows Q. So, yeah. And refers to her as an imp. Which is a fairy or demon-like.
I mean, you've got to take everything that Q says with a pinch of salt and in its context.
He refers her to some kind of creature that's dangerous.
So this is where we find out she's not human.
Yes.
Because he also says, I see you've not kept your natural form or original form.
You're... Guinan. Is that what you call yourself now? That's what he said, yeah.
But he also mentions about her appearance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You know him?
We have had some dealings.
Those dealings were 2 centuries ago. This creature is not what she appears to be. She's an imp, and where she goes, trouble always follows.
You're speaking of yourself, Q, not Guinan.
Guinan? Is that your name now?
Guinan is not the issue here. You are.
So this is what I like, that we now know
there's other
Guinan
things.
Isn't human. This isn't what she looks like. That's not what her actual name is. But we don't know
much
any more than
her.
that.
But it's almost like they're almost at equal footing, Guinan and Q, which makes it interesting because he's, omnipotent and has all these powers, and she seems to have something. She seems to have something as well to kind of combat Q in some way.
Yeah, which makes you think, okay, what is that power? But then I'm now thinking, all of her people were wiped out by the Borg.
you can't write anything, can you, to elaborate on it?
No.
It'd ruin it, wouldn't it, if you put some kind of backstory? I'm sure they'll probably do it with the new Star Trek. They'll probably just put a reason on it, and everyone will.
Or maybe in some of the novels, it might go into it as well.
Yeah, might do. Yeah.
Are novels considered canon?
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
No.
Okay.
No, at all. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying that as a
final. Yeah, I mean, people
on
can,
good authority that you know that.
Yeah.
Or that you personally seen though?
I think people on a personal basis might want to consider them as canon, but as a studio producing the content, they wouldn't consider it as canon.
Okay.
So if there's something they wanted to write or produce, and it is in contrary to what's been written in a book, then they will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good interaction between Q and Guinan.
Yeah, good interaction. I love when Riker and Worf come into the room and the micro brain phrase is brought up again.
I love that.
Oh, the redoubtable Commander Riker. And micro brain. Growl for me. Let me know you still care.
Worf.
Nice bit of interaction. Eventually, Worf gets told to leave, doesn't he?
Yeah. I was like, oh dear. Poor Worf. And that's not his only denial in this episode. He's got quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great conversation between Picard, Riker, Guinan, and Q. Good scene with them.
Yeah.
Four. Riker's very dismissive of Q. You know, this is what you this is all the mischief you were up to last time. What are you up to now? You know, you put us on trial. You gave me his powers, and but Q's basically wants to be part of the crew because he's been like asked to leave.
Yes.
He didn't say he got kicked out. He said asked to leave the Continuum since his last encounter. But yeah, he just basically wants to be a guide because he said he's concerned about.
He wants to be Neelix.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I want to be that annoying little side character.
Yeah,
I'll cook all your food for you.
Going on to Neelix though, like what is his character's made redundant pretty much after the first 2 seasons when he's gone to space that he doesn't know.
Oh, see, yes, true.
He's like, I don't know this space, but they do address it in an episode, which is good. They didn't completely ignore it.
Okay.
What can you do now? You can't guide anymore. Anyway, but yeah, like Q, he says to Guinan, they're traveling, you know, they're advancing too quickly, and almost wants to help them, but in a weird way, by plunging them a few thousand light years.
Yeah, 7,000.
Was it 7,000?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it was Picard's unfortunate choice of words.
I offer myself as guide, only to be rejected out of hand.
We'll just have to do the best we can without you.
What justifies that smugness?
Not smugness, not arrogance. But we're resolute, we're determined. And your help is not required.
We'll just have to see how ready you are.
Q!
Like, from his point of view...
We didn't know what he was going to be doing, did we?
Yeah. At this stage, he still doesn't know how crafty and how Q operates.
Yeah.
So from Picard's point of view, he was genuine about we are ready for what is before us, because they only have what they know to compare themselves to, and actually they are ready, which is why Q does say they're advancing faster than.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to compare their state to something that's 7,000 light years away.
No, true. But it'll take, I think it was like 2 years to get there or something. And it's a system, I think, familiar with Guinan, because I think Picard said, your people are from this region of space.
Okay.
And she said, if I were you, I'll be heading back now.
Yeah.
Um,
and Picard's like, oh no, let's go exploring.
Yeah, that's right. Captain's log. I decided to ignore Guinan's advice and have a look around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's his choice of words, like you said, but he also said things like, I don't trust you. So he's kind of saying all the things that would push Q to do what he did.
Yeah.
So then they're in like some system near J25. Do you know it well?
I haven't been there recently.
No.
But I've heard, yeah.
I thought it was similar to the orange juice you get in a glass bottle.
Oh, yeah.
It's J25.
J2O.
J2O, yeah, it's near
Distant
there.
cousin.
That's where they make the drink. So they visit a planet, or it's near, scan it, and noticed certain rips.
Yes.
So apparently this is like a continuation of that episode, The Neutral Zone.
Yeah.
There's a series of roads on this planet which indicates a highly industrialized civilization. But where there should be cities, there are only great rips in the surface.
It is as though some great force just scooped all the machine elements off the face of the planet.
It is identical to what happened to the outposts along the neutral zone. Sensors indicate no evidence of conventional attack.
Can you determine what happened? The outpost was not just destroyed. It's as though some great force just scooped it off the face of the planet.
Yeah, I picked up on that as well.
That's supposed to be the continuation of that. So originally, apparently, they wanted to do like a number of episodes leading up to this event.
Okay.
They only got one episode, which was this one, which we watched. But because of the writer's strike and everything was happening during season 2, it was dropped.
Oh, see. So what was the original plan then?
I think they wanted to do a build-up.
To the Borg?
To the Borg. Yeah.
Okay.
Even the Borg were meant to be insectoids
as
well.
Okay.
But they didn't have the budget for it. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I think it's better to have... I think the Borg are more menacing as humanoids than being insects creatures.
I don't know. It depends what kind of insects.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are pretty annoying.
Yeah.
So...
But I think it's just the fact that you got these almost like zombie-like characters, like walking around, and they're not. And it's taking the humanity away, almost ripping that away.
It's great what Q says about them.
The Borg is the ultimate user. They're unlike any threat your Federation has ever faced. They're not interested in political conquest, wealth, or power as you know it. They're simply interested in your ship, its technology. They've identified it as something they can consume.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting to know about the rips in the planet. Because when they did mention that, I was thinking, oh, that's what they had in the neutral zone. But then, does that mean the Borg have been to the neutral zone then? So why have we not heard about them?
Yeah, I think that was the intention.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, they're not too far away.
No.
There were 2 years travel.
Yeah.
And also we do know that Borg have better means of travel.
Yeah.
Transport conduits. I think when it appears, they're scanning. The ship's scanning them.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to think back what the impression was of the ship when you first see it on the screen.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but it's quite a menacing,
brilliant,
like image.
Yeah,
for a ship.
Yeah,
just
this huge cube.
Yeah, because it's not like it's unnatural in its dimensions. It's not an inviting shape, is it? In itself, it's like there's something you can't trust.
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
Anything geometrical, like that doesn't look right. But yeah, I definitely think Borg ship is very well designed.
Yes.
Yeah, so they can't detect. There's no response. There's no life. They can't detect any life. There's no bridge, no engineering. It's all a bit
mysterious.
Yeah, Even the colour green is a mysterious colour, isn't it?
Mm.
For Borg.
Mm.
And then Picard goes, we need Guinan's help. I think that's when they're in the observation lounge talking. And she talks about, my people were scattered over a century ago.
Mm.
So you get to get a bit of backstory of Guinan, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Picard ignores her advice.
Yes.
So, because before that happens, that's when the Borg beam over, don't they?
Oh, yes, in engineering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, even that was scary.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just there to gather information. And that's when we get a weedy security guard turn up.
Yeah.
I like that way.
It's such a funny scene because, like, Worf's like, you go.
And the other guy, there's no one else behind me.
Can't delegate it to anyone else.
Yeah, it's like, but the thing is, this guy should have he obviously wasn't trained very well because he could have pulled a phaser out.
Yeah.
He walked up to the Borg and just got thrown across. He got thrown quite far.
He did.
Because the wall was all the way back over there.
Yeah.
And then Worf then pulls out a phaser.
So I was surprised that Worf didn't go in, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, why did he delegate it? And then after he saw that guy get pushed out, I'm thinking, you're a Klingon. You love a good fight.
Well, maybe he wanted to assess the enemy before.
Send in the puny humans.
Yeah, to see what the result would be. Yeah.
Cannon fodder. They want to go and investigate. Like, Riker's like, yeah, let's beam over and
they
look.
paid us a visit. Why don't we?
That's when Guinan says, "Are you insane? You shouldn't go over there."
Yeah.
And Picard's like, "No, let's go have a look."
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Riker agrees, thinking, "Well, they paid us a visit. Let's pay them a visit."
Mm. First time on a Borg
ship. Yeah. And
although apparently the Borg are in Enterprise.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen that
episode.
I haven't seen Enterprise. Well, I've seen like a few episodes of it.
How did you find out about that then, Andrew? How did you? Did you get? Did you assimilate that information?
Yeah, from the internet.
Okay. Yeah, they were in Enterprise.
So what happened is the very first contact. Yeah. So they destroyed the Borg ship. Yeah. So apparently parts of the Borg sphere that was destroyed collapsed near the North Pole or something. Okay. And then they find the wreckage. Oh, from the future. Oh, I see. Okay. And they were found later, like years later, hundreds of years later.
But then that would change the whole timeline, and then this wouldn't be the first encounter of the Borg in Q Who. They would have some kind of records of it.
But I don't think it was established what they were.
Right.
They didn't know what they were because there wasn't enough information.
Okay.
They were just. They didn't go. I don't think so.
Yeah.
They get destroyed in the end,
but
they make their own Borg ship.
I guess it would only be stated if the Borg themselves said that they were the Borg.
Yeah, I think even Ferengi turn up in Enterprise as well. Like kind of like
okay,
a lot of things happen. You're thinking,
yeah, it doesn't really fit with the continuity.
It doesn't. Talking of Ferengi, so that's one of the reasons why the Borg were brought in, because the Ferengi were meant to be like a force to be reckoned with. But they obviously didn't come across like that.
Yeah, because the only episode we've seen them was the last Outpost, was it? Or was there another episode?
The battle.
Yeah,
and
so up until this point, they don't come across as a big threat.
No.
Okay. Well, whoever decided on the Borg, wow, amazing.
Yeah, Maurice Hurley, I think he was. Yeah, one of the producers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the idea of the cube and the.
Yeah, his idea was he wanted the insectoids. I don't know who came up with the idea of the cube though. But yeah, he come up with the hive mind idea of and having insect race. So
very good.
But yeah, the hive mind is stuck. They Wolf, Data, and Riker beam over. They didn't detect the life forms because they were in these alcoves. They didn't call them alcoves, but in these slots. I like the zoom out and seeing the whole interior of the ship.
Did the Borg sit down?
I don't know. Quite difficult.
They don't have chairs.
No,
So
they
they're
don't ever
always
sit down.
standing.
Yeah.
And when they're in their alcoves, they're standing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Must get very tired.
Maybe they're irrelevant. Yeah. So then.
See baby Borgs.
Oh yeah, baby Borgs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because there's no mention of assimilation.
No.
So that idea, I don't think was there yet because Stryker says it looks like they're born and then.
Yeah.
Then parts are then put into them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also pointed out that they're interested in technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, they don't mention about assimilating people. It's interesting they don't see them as a threat.
Like an animal.
Yeah.
So there are animals that will ignore you unless it feels threatened by you or considers you a threat. Yeah. So I guess they're going for that, like an insect, trying to link it in. You know, you got the hive. Now you've got this instinctual response.
Yeah, like a beehive. Like if you start irritating a nest, then the bees will come after you.
Yes.
But if you're not doing anything,
they'll just ignore you.
Exactly.
Let you be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you did, let you be. Yeah.
Let you be.
Yeah.
Let you wasp.
Yeah. The ship gets cut into pieces or piece
multiple
of it,
pieces.
or just one piece.
Yes.
Apparently you can see a toilet getting pulled out.
That's it. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I thought there was only one toilet and that was on the bridge. Well, not anymore because it's been removed.
Exactly. That's true.
There's a long queue on the bridge.
18 people lost. Oh, I'm finished.
I'm still reading my comics.
They get away. Oh no, they don't. They don't get away, do they? He's like conference.
He likes the conference room, doesn't he?
Yeah. So they went. I think that's when they go over. But then they realise, oh, they're regenerating.
Yeah.
And then, no, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Then you have that brilliant close-up shot of the Borg ship regenerating.
Oh yeah.
It's all repairing itself.
Yeah. And then they knock the shields out because I think the shields had already been knocked out the first time, and then they knock them out again because Wolf's like, again, or something like that. He says, "We have lost the shields a second time." He's made a point of it. But when there must be some issue because when they shoot again at the Enterprise, there's still shields. After the shields are gone and they shoot the Enterprise again to knock them out of warp.
That'll be its warp field.
Do you reckon?
Yes.
Warp bubble.
When the ship is travelling at warp, it has to make a warp field around itself.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll let them off.
I do remember that
similar.
somewhere.
Similar to the shields around.
Yes. Yeah.
We have lost shields again.
Captain, we've just lost the warp engines.
Definitely different though.
And I love the bit when Q is just hiding in the background of the bridge.
And
he just turns around. And so they're going to hunt you down and they're going to keep coming after you. They're relentless. Yeah. And because he looks like it's just someone working at the desk.
Okay.
At the back of and he just turns around. But yeah. And then Picard eventually agrees.
That he needs
Q. But yeah.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
And
Q's response after that as well. It's the line that stood out to me from the episode.
I need you.
Position?
070, Mark 63, sir.
back where we started.
That was a difficult admission. Another man would have been humiliated to say those words. Another man would have rather died than asked for help.
One of the lessons at the end of the episode is Picard acknowledging that they needed a kick in their complacency.
Hmm.
He also said they will be coming.
Yeah, since they know you exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm.
Now let's see if they can deliver on this instead of the "we're back." Oh, and nothing happens.
Yeah. Well, even some people might have thought that anyway, because obviously it's a longer period of time between. It's quite a big gap, isn't there? It's like
until
a few more episodes of season 2 and then the end of season 3 before we see the Borg again.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Because they've got to travel that distance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's good. I don't know what your thoughts are, but do you think you wished you saw more of the Borg in Next Generation or less?
More. Yeah. So there's obviously this one, there's Best of Both Worlds. There's the one with Data and Law, which is, yes, it is Borg, but it's a spin-off, really.
Yeah.
And
then Hugh, which is Iborg.
Okay.
That's the only ones, I think.
Yeah, so they're not... Yeah. And the next thing is First Contact, isn't it?
Yeah.
True. What would you do, though?
Because the writers said, like, the reason why they couldn't have them in the episodes that often is it's very hard to write for an enemy that's almost invincible.
Yes. Yeah, what do you do?
What can you do?
Yeah.
Because then...
I mean, they found a way in Best of Both Worlds, but you can't just repeat that.
Exactly.
If you're going to go for a full-on battle, I'm assuming they didn't have the budget
for
all those special effects and everything.
No.
Until you got to the film. Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know what you'd do.
Obviously, Voyager dealt with the Borg a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had more episodes to do with the Borg than Next Generation, but I think I don't know if the strength or the essence of the Borg was diminished more in Voyager.
Okay, yeah.
Because they kept beating them. Kept winning.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, they're not that scary.
Yeah.
They're not that powerful. Yeah.
That's because the alien species there, wasn't it? Species 8472.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. But there are other times when Janeway didn't have to rely on 8472.
Okay. But yeah, I get what you mean. That they, after you've seen Voyager, the Borg don't seem as
threatening.
Which is why, I do prefer the Borg in Next Generation to how they then... It's almost like it could be two different enemies. Yeah, the Borg in Next Generation are the better adversary. You can't reason with them.
Yeah.
You can't negotiate. They will outmaneuver you.
But yeah, it's really good episode. Good dialogue between all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
The threat level was high.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you do differently?
I would have Worf attack the Borg drone in engineering.
Yeah, that's true.
And then have him get beaten up instead.
Yeah. I've just put don't have that Ensign Gomez.
Oh, yes.
That
true.
was my...
Yes.
Like, no need for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they did really well in this episode? All of it.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah. That one, that lady.
The best bit is the Borg and Q and Guinan's interactions.
Yeah.
But lots of good stuff.
Any lines that stood out for you and why?
Q, when he said, another man would have been humiliated to say those words. Another man would have died rather than ask for help.
Yeah, that's true. When he said, I need you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Q's speech about it's not for the timid.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the whole conversation was like. He's talking about the wonders of the galaxy, and it's not for the timid.
Because Picard says, "Couldn't you have done that without the death of 27 of my crew members?"
Yeah, was it 18?
Says,
yeah.
The universe is a tough place. If you're going to run away just whenever you get a bloody nose.
Yeah.
I understand what you've done here, Q. But I think the lesson could have been learned without the loss of 18 members of my crew.
If you can't take a little bloody nose, maybe you ought to go back home and crawl under your bed. It's not safe out here. It's wondrous, with treasures to satiate desires both subtle and gross. But it's not for the timid.
What did you find funny?
The micro brain.
Yes, that was funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Growl for me. Let me know you care.
Yeah, and there's lots of other funny parts. Just Q, just generally, is quite comical in his delivery of lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one especially.
For me, not laughed out loud funny, but I thought it was quite internally funny.
Like a ha.
Yes, the Borg ship regenerating.
Oh,
where you see all the bits of plastic going, tying together.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh yeah, you didn't have the budget back then, did you?
No, it still looked. I like the look of it. I know it's probably not.
Yeah.
For the time, it did actually win an Emmy for special effects.
That episode.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Bad acting moment.
Nothing for me.
Okay. Well, I'll just put that. Gomez, Selena. Is it Selena Gomez or whatever her name is?
No.
That's a person, isn't it?
There is a person. Do you think it was bad acting?
I just thought it was a bit over the top. Her worry and concern.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily bad acting. Like, it might not be...
Bad character, then.
Bad character, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Great acting.
Great acting for that part.
Yeah.
But that part didn't fit.
It wasn't well written. What would you say is the moral lesson?
I wrote be humble, but I don't really know. Like, just purely based on my favourite quote where Q replies to Picard's plea for help.
Yeah, mine's similar about the don't let complacency get the best of you.
It's true.
Because obviously they were just thinking, oh, we'll be okay. Not really looking at how can we be better or better prepared or anticipate certain things.
Yeah.
So they were comfortable. They were too comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the annoying part? Okay, in First Contact, they say, the moment we've dreaded, the Borg have entered our space and they've got all their ships ready to fight. Obviously, they know it can take 2 years or so for the Borg to arrive. Now, obviously, Picard is now going to write a report on what's just happened.
Yeah.
Starfleet intelligence and whoever high up is going to read these things. And, I bet you any amount of money, they'll read that and be like, it's not that bad, really. You're probably over-exaggerating it.
Yeah.
And they'll just shelve it and be like, yeah, we'll sort that out sometime.
Yeah. But they don't know, do they? They don't shelve it. Because they said, we've been, in the best of both worlds, they do say, we've been expecting this to happen. We've been preparing.
Nice. That's good.
Because they had some new weapons, but they weren't ready.
Oh, okay.
Like the firework ones that go from the saucer section.
Right.
They said we got some weapons, but they're like experimental stage.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny because we don't ever see those firework weapons ever again, do we?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Best of both worlds. Did he assimilate any women? Riker?
No.
Okay.
Riker didn't.
Not in this episode.
No, not in this episode.
Okay. And how many times was Worf denied?
Several times.
Denied to beat up Q.
Yeah. Got sent out of the room by Picard.
True.
He didn't get to fight in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's another one. No?
denied to use the toilet because it was taken out by the Borg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, my favourite pooper.
Potty.
Yes. Weedy security guards, we've discussed those.
One in engineering.
Couple, wasn't there?
Oh, was there more than one?
I think there's one. There's two on either side of the wharf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
So it's a brilliant episode. So we see what our
yes. Yeah.
People on our group Facebook have mentioned about this episode.
Mm-hmm. Are there comments as well?
Yeah, we got some comments as well. 51 over half said this is a 5 out of 5, absolute classic.
Mm-hmm.
One of TNG's best episodes.
Mm.
And we got 44% giving it 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So that's between those two, it's like 95%. This is based on
there's 2%
views.
2% have voted 2 and 2% have voted 1.
Yeah.
So if you voted 2 or 1, let us know why you voted so lowly.
Yeah,
so low even.
Yeah, so that would be.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on why so low.
Yeah, that would be good to hear. You know who you are. So we had some people add some comments as well.
Okay.
Brian Harrington saying, glad to see that Star Trek fans still retain good taste and know the impact it has on Trek from then on.
Yes.
So obviously good response.
Respect. Thank you.
From fans on that episode. Greg Cox says this episode contains possibly his favourite dialogue from Next Generation. Q's whole monologue about how space isn't for the timid. Which is similar to
what you said.
I said.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very good.
I would agree with the ratings.
Mm-hmm. Well, apart from the 2 and the 1.
Oh yeah, with the positive ratings, yeah. 5 and the 4. I'm probably more on the 5.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's good. Thank you for listening, and thanks Andrew for allowing me here again.
Rent free.